Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly broadcast. We talk about search, SEO, digital marketing, link building, all of those challenging topics, and we try to find solutions and also monitor trends that happen in our industry every other day now. So, if you want to be up to date with everything that has to do with Google search, AI search, online visibility, do come to our live broadcasts on one of our social media profiles. We are Smarty Marketing. Google us. We do have a lot of social media channels that we mm, live broadcast to. And these are free, quick, and pretty productive ways to find out what's new in our industry and how to go about that. I am Smarty. I've been in SEO for about 20 years, pretty much more at this point. So I've seen it all. I've seen how Google has been developing. I've seen all kinds of Google's updates. I can compare what is happening now to what happened 10, 15 years ago. So I have quite some experience as an SEO, and I'm happy to share that with you. Also, please, I can see that Greg is here today. That's great because I know his kid was homesick. So thank you for being here, Greg. Please follow us everywhere and also subscribe to my newsletter. It lives over at nsmarty.com and also on LinkedIn and Medium. There I announce topics every week that we are going to discuss during these videos, and I try to give more context, more links, more screenshots for you to be able to better understand the topic. So it would be lovely if you follow me there as well. Today with me, and always, is April, our director of social media. She knows a lot about branding and reputation management, but not so much about SEO, because she hasn't been doing SEO. She was doing our social media and outreach and design and so much more. Thank you for being with us, April.
Hey everyone.
So today we are going to discuss a topic that we mentioned many times during this broadcast, but not in so much detail. That's branded search and how to deal. Does everyone have problems with hearing me? I think we have a comment that my voice is not clear. Please comment if you follow us anywhere, if you can hear me well. April, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we'll wait for more comments in case there is any problem with the sound. If it's from LinkedIn, the comment is coming from LinkedIn, so please let us know if you can hear me well. So today we are talking about branded search, and branded search is search results that show up for any query that includes your brand name. It is such an important topic in our industry, and in my experience, 99% of times it's neglected by businesses, which is unfortunate because it's so important. First of all, many people, I think we have the latest statistic that we have from Google was a few years ago, and it was that almost half of people research brands online before buying anything from them. With ChatGPT and other generative AI search engines and platforms, these statistics, I'm sure, will be much, much higher because we know that most conversations with ChatGPT end up with Google search because people do get their quick answers through generative AI, and then they go back to research everything that they want to research further. And in many cases, those are best brands in one of the categories, or shops in some local areas. And then people go and find more about those products and brands that they found out from ChatGPT, Gemini, or other platforms. So I'm sure this statistics is much, much higher these days. So we need to make sure that everyone who is researching our brand is compelled to go and actually buy from you. It's also, and one of the things that people do not realize is that many navigational search queries are just people trying to get to your website. And whether they click search, many of them, Google Chrome and I think Safari as well, would generate autocomplete suggestions when people are still typing a brand name in search results. So they start searching without really intending to search in the first place. So many of those navigational searches are actually people who want to go to your site and buy something from you. This could be a social media ad or any other ad that you invested in and brought your brand in front of those people, and they want to actually buy, but instead they search, and lots of search results can be negative, so people will change their mind and you lose the customer that you invested in. So it's I would say the most important thing for any business is to know what shows up when someone is searching for you and trying to get to your website. And surprisingly, it almost always neglected. Now, the bad thing about this is that we cannot fully control what Google shows for any search, including branded search. And so it's like having a business card but not being able to control what it says. So it's not an easy topic to be able to control what people see there and make sure that it's getting even more difficult because of all those new sections that are included in branded search, and we will discuss them in a moment. So let's see what happens when someone searches for a brand name. First of all, there are always ads on top if someone is bidding on your brand name, and I've had that happen to my brands many times. I think even Smarty marketing, when you search for that, would trigger ads these days. So nothing you can do unless you bid for your own name and pay for those clicks as well. We are not PPC company, but this is highly recommended for anything that has included in your brand. Hold that spot on top of everything. Even if people already know you and search for you, they will see the ad and will be more likely to go to your site instead of your competitor. Now, there is another section that goes on mobile. That's, I think, next section. On the desktop, it goes to the right of search results is the knowledge panel. Knowledge panel is usually only for big brands unless that's local marketing, local business that also has a local knowledge panel. How to get that is a very difficult question because Google is very slow in including brands and personal brands into their knowledge graph. But knowledge panels do help with conversions a lot because at least it makes you more trustworthy. It shows a little bit of information about you, and it also can send people to your website so that they don't scroll down to any negative reviews that may be there. So if you want to have a knowledge panel select for a brand name, let us know because we do have a authority building service that we can offer you and see how doable that is, how difficult, and what it takes. Now, next goes organic search results, and bigger brands will have site links. Smaller brands will just have their homepage. Google does try to find an official homepage for every navigational search, but it's not always possible unless if you have a very generic brand name. So making sure that you rank there as well is another step to take. You need to be there as well. And also now there are a lot of more sections. If you visited any of our previous live broadcasts, you would also know about AI overviews that show up for branded searches as well. I've searched for one brand and reviews, and they would AI overviews would show summary of how people review your brand and what their complaints are and what they're happy about, what they're unhappy about. So it's very dynamic. Not every person will see the same thing. Some people will see an AI overview, some not. They do show up on top of organic search results. So this is something to always check if you do have those for any of your branded searches. And if you do, we had a previous episode on how to better control those as well. That is not much different from actual branded search optimization, because you want to control more of your organic search results, and then you will be more in control of your AI overviews as well. From outside of organic search results, there are many more other sections that always are included in branded search. Those could be image carousels, video carousels, Twitter carousels, all of those additional information about your brand from your official social media channels. So if you do have social media channels, make sure on your website use schema to claim them as official so that Google could show those as well. Reddit shows up for just about any branded search these days, and we have many clients coming to us with the same problem. Those are negative reviews, and they usually come up very on top of search results, organic search results, or even in a separate section, forums and discussions. There is not much we can do about Reddit sentiment. We know it's a tricky community with a lot of negativity there. Not many people who are happy with the brand will go to Reddit and share that information. So we do have a few things you can do. I had another newsletter about that, so check out Smarty.com. They are all linked from this edition as well. Long story short, there is no easy solution, but something can be done about that as well. You can participate as an official brand on Reddit. Be very careful with that, though. You can create your own subreddit where you would curate better reviews or share the company news as well. That is very time consuming as well. You can do other stuff like viral marketing on Reddit so that those show up as well. That's something we do as well. We do viral marketing campaigns on Reddit, including Reddit, and they always perform very successful and start ranking for your brand as well. So there are things you can do. None of them is very easy, but so it sounds like so many brands are now concerned about those Reddit threads ranking in Google that something needs to be done about that, and we can help to some extent, and we can diagnose as well. So we can help. Let us know if you need help there. With that, I think I have many more details in my newsletter, but I'm not talking too much today. I don't feel half of my face after the dentist appointment, so I cannot talk too much, but I'm ready for your questions if you have any, and I know April has a few. A very important topic in SEO overall.
Right. So in the newsletter, you mentioned like knowledge panels and how like bigger brands tend to have those, and how like getting like niche awards can qualify you. Like, what tips do you have for brands to find like those niche awards to help them qualify for a knowledge panel?
Yes, overall, that could be not just rewards. It could be any branded associations in the industry. You can be a sponsor, you can be a speaker, you can be nominated for awards. You can be featured by some relevant nonprofit or help someone. So it's any topical association with brands that are already included in Google's knowledge graph. there is no one single way to do that. I would definitely look at competitors and where they were featured and what they were doing, who they are partnering with. I would definitely just research Google and test all kinds of things that that you can just be that can just come up your way. It's, of course, it's not just doing what your competitors are doing, but also looking outside of the box and trying different things. Every site is different, every brand is different, every strategy would be different for every brand in this way. So I would definitely, if you're interested in checking that out, let me know. I do have 15-minute free call option on our website, smarty.marketing. I can look at your site and provide you some ideas of if it's even doable and what it could take. Again, it's a free call. Let me know if you have any questions about your specific brand, because it will be different in every case.
You also mentioned like to get like image carousels on search, like having a presence on Twitter and YouTube. Would you say like those are the most important social media platforms, or kind of like other social media platforms help you get those?
Yes, they can. For example, I just noticed that Google started using my Instagram much more frequently than it ever did. So having a public profile on Instagram definitely helps. Pinterest ranks very well, so that is helpful.
True.
Well, overall, the more channels, the better, and content repurposing from channel to channel is actually doable. It's not that difficult, especially with all the tools that we have these days that can resize images, generate videos, help you with any other image editing and creation processes. So just being somewhere is already helpful. The more you can handle, the better, but at least I don't think that Twitter is as powerful these days as it was 3 years ago when Google was actually using their database. At this point, the more you can do, the better. But Twitter is just helpful for so many other reasons, like outreach, even a relationship building. It's still the most open platform out there where you do not have to be friends to talk to people, where you can participate in discussions openly as a brand. So I would definitely do Twitter as the first one, and then branch out as much as you can to other platforms and social media channels, or even outside your site, just being a contributor somewhere and providing your own branded pictures would also help as well. As much as you can, do everything.
I noticed like for our clients' brands, a lot of like the infographics and digital assets we make for them show up in the image search. So that's like another powerful way to get to show up in the results.
Exactly. And even imagine if it's not even your customers researching your brand, but let's say journalists that want to know your story or list you somewhere or even work with you or interview you, whatever they do, they always search. So the more information and the more context you will give them in your branded search results, the more interesting your brand is, and the more likely they will reach out and ask you to be part of their column or for a quote or for an interview. All those great links that we want to get for our clients usually in many cases come from Google search. When our assets start ranking, when they find that, I think we had quite a few cases when a journalist would discover an infographic on Reddit and then would go to search to find more about that brand and then even reach out and ask for quotes about that research. So it's for many purposes very beneficial when you have a lot of visual context around your brand as well.
Definitely. I just wanted to mention for Twitter, like Twitter chats, like industry specific Twitter chats are like a really great way to help like establish your presence on Twitter. And
even
I've had
get
like
noticed.
really,
Get
I've had like
noticed.
really great success.
Yeah, those are definitely very helpful, and I'm glad they still exist. That you can without it being followed, without having huge following, you can participate in Twitter chats and get known pretty quickly.
And there's seriously like one for like there's chats for like every possible industry and topic. There's websites where you can look up like specific if there's Twitter chats available for your specific industry. That's it's just a great resource.
Yep.
Having you also mentioned like if your like brand name's not like original, like it can be a lot harder to be recognized by Google in that way because you're competing with like a lot like other keywords basically. Like how can like entrepreneurs figure out if their like proposed brand name will work for branded SERPs like ahead of time if that's even doable?
I think that has always been quite a problem, picking a brand name that is both memorable, create industry associations with what you are doing, and also being unique enough for you to be found in Google. I had a few friends who set up websites on those new top level domains like we did with marketing, but they had generic word like, let's say, SEO dot marketing or something like that, and then ranking for SEO for that actual brand name is almost impossible unless you are in April, where that Google knows that that's the brand and not the fruit. So it is not easy. What I would suggest definitely doing is searching before you buy a domain. Search for that name in Google and see if there is another business with the same brand name. Usually there is these days, so you would have to check how strong and how established that business is, and if you can compete with them for that brand name. Then always try to stay away from brand names that do trigger that spelling did you mean warning in Google. It is not easy to fight because it does take Google and a lot of search volume for Google to be convinced that's not a misspelling. So for a year or so, you will be not searchable basically, because Google would by default show search results that are correct, as they think, correct version of your brand name, and you will not be found at all. I had those cases with clients as well who set up websites, and for many months no one could find them at all because Google would flatly refuse searching for that keyword. So try to stay away unless you know that you have a lot of budget to actually invest into brand name searches and mentions, so to make that quicker. At least those two, keep an eye on those two. So your competitors for your branded search and those misspelling warnings from Google that are not easy to correct as well, to fix. Now, also, I usually ask friends too, because sometimes those weird associations that some unique brand names trigger, especially in different languages, could be quite tricky as well. So stay away from anything that can be a rude word in another language or something like that, because that will catch up with you quite quickly. So at these three, I would even check the Urban Dictionary to see if that's a word that means something you don't want to be known for. So it's a process. I would definitely take at least a week to find quite a few good names, and then checking all of that and sleeping on that idea and asking your friends if they sound good to you, if they're good for even spelling, like if there are double words, double letters in your brand name, expect there will be a lot of searches that cannot get to your site, and so they originate Google search because there are like two D's when two words become one. There are usually those interesting combinations of letters that are not easy to type, and we do want that to be easy to type as well. And these days also, with all those different extensions like top level domains, there are so many repetitive brand names at this point, because previously we had to to actually get a com domain, and that was not doable in many cases, but at least we all had different domain names and thus brand names. These days you can buy any brand name because there are so many opportunities for other types of top level domains, and those are getting very repetitive. So search well. Always start your brand name search with Google and see what other brand names are there and how people do that. Also, when I registered Smarty back 20 years ago, I registered SEOsmarty.com. No one could remember to have Y at the end. Everyone tried to do IE at the end of the domain name. So it took a lot of branding to actually fix that. And Google, I think, even generated that misspelling warning as well. So it does take time. If you're ready to spend a lot of time on fixing those little things with Google, go ahead, but keep an eye on your competitors for sure, because sometimes it's impossible to overrank some huge brand with the same business name. Even if it's not your industry, it's not a real competitor of yours, you do want to be found for your brand name, and that is very important, and it's going to be even more important in the future, because like I said, people know to go to Google these days. If 10-15 years ago, not many people would think even to research you. They see your ad and they buy from you. These days people go back to Google from social media, from generative AI platforms, and research you. And if you are not found there, you basically lose that customer. So keep an eye. If you're just starting a brand, take it very seriously to find something that will be searchable and typable so that it's easy to type as well.
I knew somebody, like, also make sure that like, your brand name, he was trying to start like a marketing company, but he chose like a brand name that is a type of marketing. I don't want to say like what it was, but it is a type of marketing too. Like the verb marketing is a type of marketing. And there was no way he was ever going to be able to like outcompete like the thing that, I don't know. Like, you just got to be really careful.
Yeah, you don't want it to be too generic. Like, it's not, you're not Apple and you will never be Apple. If they could afford to register apple.com and they are now findable for that brand name, it's very chances are very slim that you will be able to do the same, even if you have a lot of money to invest into SEO, because Google does take quite a while to consider a new brand an entity and find official channels, official website for that brand, and rank them accordingly. It does take a while, especially if it's a semi-generic term, even if it's not just one generic word or two generic words. It's still tricky. So if you are starting a brand, keep that in mind from very first step, that you need to be found in Google, because it's like at least 50% of your customers will be researching you, and unless they find you, there is no way they will convert.
And what do you suggest? Like, oh, sorry, I guess you can.
No, go ahead. I just, you froze for a little bit.
Oh, I did. Oh, I was gonna say, like, what do you suggest like brands do like in the meantime while they're between that time where like Google recognizes them and like when they're first starting out?
Investing in ads in Google is a good first step. If you cannot rank organically, at least you will have that ad that people can click. But anything and everything you can do otherwise as well. YouTube channels rank, or YouTube videos. Make a video about your brand and promote it on YouTube. It could rank for your branded searches as well. So however you can do it. Get interviewed, get your brand name in press releases, even traditional press releases. They will still be ranking for your brand name as well. So any brand mentions would help. but it still will take some time for Google. Rankings for unique names are not difficult. So when you have a unique brand name that no one else has, and you don't have, like, it's not generic, it's unique, it doesn't take too much time to rank your website and your official social media channels for that brand name. So choosing wisely is the first step, and then troubleshooting as you go as well is also a process. And I feel like with that, thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm sorry I'm a little bit challenged today with talking. You can see that half of my face is not even smiling. But very much grateful for you visiting us today. Please come back Wednesday 1 p.m. EST. We have this live broadcasts every week, and we always try to break any SEO rule or trends. We don't break rules. I don't know what I'm to discuss anything new in SEO and provide our perspective how that can be approached and helped. And please subscribe to my newsletter and smarty.com not to miss any of our events as well. Thank you so much.
Yep. Bye, everyone.